What's up everybody, my name is Dan and welcome back to another video. Now it's been a while since I've made a tutorial, so I thought why not I make another one. Now before I start with today's video, I just want to say that I hesitated to even make this video because during the making of this video, when I was recording my drawing, I have to re-record like 4 times because each time that I draw, I did not like how it turns out. So thankfully on the 5th try, I got somewhat a pretty decent image. I am not happy about how it looks, but I think it's the closest thing I can get for this video. Now let's start out with the video. So here is how to draw like WLOP. So who is WLOP or WLOP? Now WLOP's real name is Wang Ling. I'm sorry if I butchered his name. Now he is a hobbyist digital artist from China based in Hong Kong. He's very well known for his painting process videos on YouTube, and his insane reflects detailed stories within the fantasy genre. Now additional information about him, he is a freelance artist who is also using his spare time. He make art during his spare time. He is also working as a IC design engineer. Now the information that I'm telling you, I'm not sure how much of it is true because it's just based on Google search. I do not know him personally. Before I start with the actual tips, I just want to say I've read a few comments and a lot of you, not a lot, some of you are saying that I am copying or I'm just redrawing his work. The reason for that is because if I were to draw something else that is either original or fan art that is something else, I'm scared that you guys might not relate or understand. Because if I were to draw a fan art of Captain America and then I say that that painting is in WLOP's art style, you guys might not connect it because it's like it's not the same. So the reason I redraw is so that you guys can follow along. Now with that out of the way, we can start with today's video. Now each video I try my best to give you guys tips that I did not say in previous videos because I don't want to be creating tutorials where I keep giving you guys the same advice. However, if I feel like that advice is useful, I will say it again. Now without further ado, here is how to draw like WLOP. Now tip number 1, and I think this is one of the reasons why WLOP's paintings look so good. And the first tip is understanding color keys. Now what is color keys? Color key may refer to as chroma key composition, a special effect technique layering images or video streams together. Colorists work and the materials used, adding details to black and white line art, pre-pressing proofing guides used for fine-tuning items in printing press. Basically, the reason this is important is because having a color key can set the mood for your painting, which is something that WLOP like to do in most, if not all, of his painting. Where if it's a sunset, the colors of the painting and the color that reflects on the skin would be different. If it is a midday or the afternoon, the colors would also be different. If it's a hot day and you can see sun rays, or as they call it, God rays, it would also be different. So understanding color keys and applying it onto your painting can really help you push your paintings to greater heights. It can help you create mood and create emotion onto your painting that might relate to your audience. So it is important to understand color keys. Now for tip number 2, this is not as important as tip number 1, but I thought I want to share it. And just like how number And just like how tip number 1 is, you got to understand how lighting works. Why is this important? Because in WLOP's painting, he loves to do lights. So as much as you can, try to understand lights and shadow. I know I've said this in previous video, but this is important if you truly want to replicate WLOP's style, because he uses a lot of lights. He pushes lights and shadows to create really beautiful paintings. This is extremely important if you really want to draw like WLOP. There's not much I can teach you about lights and shadow other than understanding where the light is coming from. For example, if the light is coming from your your left side, the shadow will be on the right. So understanding that basic perspective can really help you in making your artwork better. Now for tip number 3, this is equally as important as tip number 1 and 2, especially for WLOP's case, because he does this a lot, and that is doing background. Background is important because it tells the audience where the character is, like where that character is in place. Your perspective and where the character is important if you want to replicate in WLOP's style. WLOP likes to do a lot of really powerful and beautiful background. So if you truly want to draw like him, I would suggest start learning how to draw backgrounds, because his backgrounds are one of the main reasons why he is better than most artists out there, because most artists can only draw characters and not really background. So if you can do both, you're pretty much good. You don't have to draw both the background and the character to be a good artist. But like I said, if you truly want to draw like WLOP, you really got to try and learn backgrounds, because backgrounds is important. And just like tip number 1, apply color keys to your background, because it can really set the mood for your paintings that your audience might find relatable, or might find a certain feeling like happiness or sadness, etc. So if you can, learn backgrounds. I cannot teach you backgrounds because I myself I'm not a professional at drawing backgrounds yet. So just like you and me, you learn as much as I learn, so we both learn together. Now this is a tip not specifically for WLOP, but in general. So these few tips are drawing eyes, ears, hair, etc. right? So I'll start with the eyes first. And if you want to draw eyes, I highly recommend drawing both eye at the same time. So if you do one stroke on the left eye, you have to do one stroke on the right eye. By doing this often, you're able to draw eyes better. Also, learn a little bit of anatomy when it comes to drawing eyes, because most people are suffering from, as some artists call it, fake eye syndrome, where you're drawing what you think an eye looks like and not drawing what an actual eye looks like. So if you can, you have to learn anatomy a little bit. So like I said, but the tips that I can give you for drawing eyes is to draw both eye at the same time. Ensure that the teardrop is aligned, so you can draw a line from the left eye to the right eye to make sure that your eye is straight. You also want to make the eye look better, and to measure the eye is usually for measurement of eyes. There will usually be one eye in between two eyes. So your left eye and your right eye, and the spacing between the left and the right should be exactly the same size as one eye. So you should, so that's basically how you draw. I will try my best if I can create a video on how to draw eyes. No guarantees, but I hope it kind of gives you guys a little bit of insight on how to draw eyes. Now for hair, if you want to draw hair, especially in WLOP's paintings, his hair, the way he paints hair is very flowy. So if you want to do that, I suggest starting out with blocking out the shape of the hair. So you don't start with individual strands. Instead, you start with blocking out the hair. By doing that, you can get the idea of where the hair is going, like how it's flowing in 3D environment. So if you in most of WLOP's painting, the hair will be always flowing to the left or flowing to the right because of the wind. So I would suggest shaping out the hair and then add details, so you can get the feel of where the hair is flowing. Now for the ears, usually I don't draw ears because it's covered behind hair, but if you are doing a painting where they will show ears, here's how you do it. Usually the ears would be above, usually the ears would be your earlobe would be below or the same level as the bottom of your nose, and the top of your ear would usually be around your eyebrows. So I cannot give you much tips on ears because most of the time when I paint, I don't draw in the ears because it's covered by the hair. So I cannot give you guys too much tips because I don't draw ears often, and I don't want to give you guys tips on something that I haven't done often. So just to recap what I've said, I know I talked a lot. So just to recap, if you want to draw like WLOP, you need to first thing create a color key. This is to set your mood, your tone, and your feeling onto the painting to really make the painting pop. Start off with color keys. Create a color palette specifically for a specific color key. Like you're doing a sunset, or you're doing a midnight, or you're doing an afternoon. Try to create a color key based on the mood and the environment you want. The second thing is, of course, lights and shadow. This is especially important if you want to create WLOP's painting, because he uses a lot of light and shadow to really make his painting look beautiful. The third tip is to do backgrounds. This is highly recommended, especially if you want to recreate paintings like WLOP's, or you want to draw like him. So being able to paint background really puts you up with him. It doesn't necessarily make you a bad artist if you cannot draw background, but like I say, if you really want to replicate his art style, then drawing background is an essential, because he does that a lot, and that is one of the many reasons why his paintings look beautiful. Now the other tips like the eyes, ears, and the hair are more general tips. I'll go more in depth with another video. I cannot go more in depth in this one. So I hope you guys learn a little bit of something. I know in all of my tutorial, nothing or no tips I say I really go in depth with. So like whenever I give you guys a tip, I don't go too much in depth. I just want to give you guys a general idea on how to kind of draw like that artist. The rest is all really up to you. Redrawing someone's work is not that difficult because you already have the reference, but understanding what they do and the techniques that they have in the paintings can really change how you draw. So that's why redrawing people's work can really improve yourself. So yeah, I hope this helps you guys a little bit. If so, you guys can leave a comment on which other artists that you guys want me to do. I'll probably do Guweiz, maybe Angel Ganef. I'm not really sure, but I hope this video helped, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.